Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
2 will enter. 1 will win. Welcome to the fight. Welcome to the knockout.
Welcome everyone to season 4 of the Knockout, episode 4, YouTube and podcast show. We had a slight miscalculation, not miscalculation, but change of plans. Your Mom's Comics had a last-minute family, Mrs. Comics in the background, trying to distract me as always. So, last-minute cancellation, so I had to find a substitute. So I found someone who to argue for Apocalypse. So rather than recreate the intro, I decided to play you guys the new possible alternative intro for the Knockout, which I kind of like, superheroes fighting at each other. So without further ado, please welcome David the Collector, who's arguing for Mephisto. Welcome, David. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So you said you didn't know very much about Mephisto. You're just having fun with this character without your whole reasoning, right? You said?
Yeah, why not? I should try something new, learn something new about some a character that I didn't familiarize myself with in the past. So,
and you never know. I've seen episodes where it's won and lost by a single vote, and who knows? It all depends on how people vote. And please welcome Carrie, the officially unofficial geek, who's substituting for Apocalypse. Welcome, Carrie. How's it going?
Hi, it's great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. So,
hello, chat.
So, thank you very much for joining us at the last minute here. I don't know how busy we'll be on a Saturday night for the Knockout, but that's why I gave the voting poll weeks in advance, basically, so you guys can have your chance to get votes in. Love you, hun. All right, so links in the chat for anyone who wants to go. Does anyone have any questions before we dive down into the nitty-gritty of the show? So, all right. As usual, there's no challenge like I was last season. This is villains, so whatever you can get away with basically is free. Mephisto wants to make a few deals with, a Norman Osborn for Harry's soul. He wants to break up another marriage because that's just the kind of guy he is. Or Apocalypse wants to take over Krakoa and kick all the other mutants off the island. So who knows? I look forward to see where you guys take this discussion. So take it away, David, with your opening statement here.
Right on. Well, Mephisto, a.k.a. the Devil, a.k.a. Legion, a.k.a. Lucifer, a.k.a. Mistopheles, a.k.a. Old Nick, a.k.a. Satan, a.k.a. another 20 different names that we probably haven't heard yet. He's the best that there ever was, there is, and there ever will be, is what I'm learning. He doesn't have that many people that can actually challenge him, especially on the villain side. You don't have any goodness in you, you're screwed against Mephisto is what I'm learning. He tortures Dr. Doom and his mommy for fun in his spare time. If you get lucky and you're able to kill him at all, he's just going to respawn in his own realm, just like a video game, like it's Grand Theft Auto. So he's pretty much immortal and can't lose. He doesn't really love anybody or care for anybody, and he has nothing to lose because he's all about himself. Once in a while, he might want to get laid by death, but that's nor here nor there. And he's the best liar in the business. So he can convince pretty much anybody to do just about anything that he wants. So I'm not sure how you can stop the combination of all of these kinds of things together. But I urge you to do your best, Apocalypse.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to learning more about Mephisto. I only know what I know about from in the comic books, which honestly is not that much. So I look forward to your discussion. Take it away, Carrie, with Apocalypse.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for coming this evening. My name is Carrie Quinn, and you may remember me from the first episode of this season where I got beat pretty royally. So I am coming to you tonight for redemption. This is Apocalypse versus Mephisto, but this is also my redemption arc. And what I intend to do this evening is convince you beyond a shadow of the doubt that Apocalypse can beat Mephisto. It is not only probable or logical, it's a done deal. Quite frankly. I also wanted to bring up really quick something that's really cool in that I learned today is March is Women's History Month. And those of you that may or may not know that it was a woman that co-created Apocalypse, Louise Simonson. In Apocalypse's first appearance, was basically the writer that created that character in X Factor number 5. So for me, for Louise, for women everywhere throughout history, please vote for Apocalypse. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I look forward to this. All right. So, guys and gals, all right, my mistake. That's noise. How is this gonna happen here? I see the setting starting off as Apocalypse. We have Krakoa now. He's gonna take over Krakoa. Mephisto sees a big bad guy here and comes up to do what? What's gonna happen? How is this fight gonna happen? Do you have a?
I
Yes.
mean, I'm gonna spit with my mouthpiece because it's what I do best as I talk. Or if I guess I'm Mephisto. So I'm just gonna come at you real strong, and try to convince you to sell me your soul. This is gonna be my first tactic. I think that's gonna probably get you to want to fight me.
Are you're going to try to convince Apocalypse to sell his soul, the immortal godlike being deity of Apocalypse? He's immortal. There's what does he care about his soul?
I guess everybody is beneath Mephisto, so he wasn't about anybody else's immortality or anything like that. And if it's not his soul that he wants, then he'll come after what's dearest to Apocalypse, and that's his children.
Hmm.
Well, Mephisto also is immortal here.
Unless-
So.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Apocalypse's overall kind of like mission statement involves survival of the fittest. So if Mephisto wants to target his children and his children can't keep up, then that means nothing to Apocalypse. Apocalypse is timeless, immortal, and basically he was designed throughout his history to be pretty much kind of a catch-all for any power whatsoever. And I was reading up about Mephisto. He's got a lot of that as well. However, there's one little problem with Mephisto. The problem with Mephisto is that, say, hypothetically here, another being were to somehow pull Mephisto from his dominion, his universe, everything like that, and throw him into a whole other dominion, parallel universe, what have you, he doesn't have those powers anymore.
I thought his powers, I believe, are weakened at points in time. The longer
Weakened, while yet Apocalypse is still as strong as ever.
Yeah, I think I've heard that Mephisto is kind of like his powers are tied to the universe, kind of like Cosmic Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse kind of thing. His cosmic power is tied to the universe, but if he left the universe, he'd be regular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it makes sense in that regard. So
right. And I know what you're gonna say. How does Apocalypse get Mephisto to another realm, another universe? I know you're going there. Were you about ready to go there?
I mean, why would I leave? Yeah. Why would I stay so far away and not return home? And yeah, I mean, this is my little safety space.
So, here's the thing. One of the things that Apocalypse can do is Apocalypse can manipulate his size, mass, and appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about how Mephisto might just want to get laid someday.
Well, Mephisto is also can be intangible, so he can not only alter his size and appearance, but he can literally be intangible, untouchable. There's nothing that Apocalypse could be doing.
Yeah, and the thing is here's the thing. A lot of their powers are interchangeable.
Yes,
There's
very
some
much.
differences.
Mhm.
However, with the ability of if you know Mephisto wants to be somebody's daddy, you know, he's gonna come in and looking to get laid, like you said, right? All
Mhm.
Apocalypse has to do
Only
is
once in a
make
while.
himself, you know, look inviting to Mephisto. And in that case, get him in a position where Mephisto's kind of, you know, by the short hairs kind of thing, you know? And then you get him, you know, and you take him off to, you know, wherever you want to take him. Now, that uh, probably means having to try to get somebody else on your side, right? So,
Be a bad idea.
what?
So it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and convince someone to be on your side, you know, a little whisper.
Right. So, so you bring Mephisto, right? And you find somebody like, I don't know, Doctor Strange, right? So like he can open to different universes, right? So you somehow use your abilities to convince Doctor Strange that this is a great idea because Mephisto has some wicked plan that he's going to go after. You heard this in a bar, right? Your Apocalypse, you heard this in a bar, right? The Mephisto is going to go after Doctor Strange's girl, right? And Doctor Strange's like, no, we can't have that. So we got to take him to a different universe.
Mm.
I'm just
This is the
saying.
horniest I've ever heard Mephisto being in my whole life, even though I've
Hey,
only
you
known
know,
2 weeks now.
right now, I'm just kind of, you
I
know,
love it.
I'm
You
just kind of
spitball.
going off. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of going off what you're saying here.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I
you
guess
know, the only time he's ever going to be weak is in that prone position,
Mhm.
and you know, there you go.
Well, see, yeah. See, Mephisto's just gonna wall up to Apocalypse, use his charm, and then go just. Oop, did I kick him out? Oh, we
You
lost.
might have.
Did I lose him? He surrendered.
I doubt it. There we
Did I
go. There
Sorry,
we go.
guys, I don't know what happened.
Back.
All I know is I used this. I was trying to put it. I was trying to put one of my little videos I put in. Hulk punched
Yeah, I
Thor.
saw that.
It brought you back, and then where'd he
You
go?
were gone. You were gone.
Hulk punched the
Well, I
wrong
went
guy.
back to my realm. I repowered. I came back.
Do I think Apocalypse is just gonna punch Mephisto? No. He's got to keep up the ruse as long as possible. And I'm just saying, in Mephisto in a prone position and everything like that, it makes it a little bit easier.
I mean, my goal, if you're sitting in a bar like you were talking about with Apocalypse, is I'm going to be manipulating the person that's sitting next to you and manipulating Apocalypse's mind at the same time, almost forgetting who he is and everything about himself and why he's here to fight Mephisto, and just completely, eviscerate everything in his mind without him even knowing Mephisto is in the room. And so it's
Right.
just using people to use people in order to get into, somebody else's mind. And I think that's one strategy he just is unbeatable about. And I know we both characters manipulate minds very well.
I was gonna say, who's the person that's going to be most vulnerable in that position is going to be someone that can't do it themselves.
Yeah.
You know, these two characters are so well matched because of their abilities that it is hard to just kind of go at each other unless you're getting Mephisto in a difficult position.
Yeah.
But like Mephisto can change his appearance. Mephisto has that charisma that Apocalypse has. You know, I mean, the telepathic ability, energy projection, all the, very similar.
Yeah, he can alter reality and
characters.
time
Yeah.
as well.
I got a
So-
question for Apocalypse here.
Mhm.
In the research you've been able to do, does Apocalypse really have any weaknesses? I don't really know of any weaknesses he has, and I've been comparing the best I can the abilities between the two, and unless Apocalypse is weak against magic, which Mephisto has access to, and it says he has access to according to what I'm looking at,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like. I mean, not to favor size, even though I secretly do. Mephisto stands or has a huge chance. It seems like he's at a slight disadvantage because if Apocalypse is weak against magic, it's possible that it's a little easier fight. If it's not, it's a little bit like like you said, they're very similar characters in their
Well,
powers.
the thing is one for some reason he's immortal. Okay. Basically, if you cut off his arm, he grows another one. Like it's you ask if he's vulnerable to magic. The thing is he is magic. Like when it comes right down to it, like he shouldn't exist, but he uses science and everything in a way to make himself this being. Like he's I believe there was one place where I read that he when he was a child he was selfless and he tried to be a good person, and the person that was raising him, I think it was Ball, um, tried to basically just fight that out of him, like breed that out of him, and he's basically ever since used science, survival of the fittest, and everything like that. Like this is one of these people that I've heard a number of people say that at any moment he could just basically obliterate the entirety of the X-Men. And the only reason he doesn't is because of his attachment to science.
Interesting. Cool. Very interesting. So what is Mephisto's defenses here? Because if his abilities in the comics are the same as it was in the TV show, on the movie, should I say, he had an ability to, what does it say? I'm going to read it off here. Ability to augment, manipulate, or steal the powers of mutants and other cosmic beings. So it's almost like Mephisto has to fight him at a distance, or he could risk being a ordinary guy who's just red.
Yeah, I mean, Mephisto, I wouldn't really say he's skilled in hand-to-hand combat. That's not his thing. He's not going to go up and be like, "Hey, Apocalypse, let's go in the ring and actually spar with each other." I don't think he's ever going to do that. And even if it comes down to it, he's going to try to figure a way out. Let's just go back to my realm and I'll figure it all out down there. But he does have an ability. I didn't know about anything about stealing anybody else's powers or anything like that. But he does have a lot of stamina. He does have a lot of speed. He pretty much has an infinite amount of stamina is kind of what I've been described. So to me, I feel like if he is going to get in a hand-to-hand fight with anybody, or if it's just him and nobody to manipulate around, he can just run around like the old Homer Simpson technique until the other opponent gets too tired and drops down. Yeah. That was like the only thing that I could really come up with if he is in a one-on-one situation, is he'll never get tired and he can completely avoid the situation. Yeah. Of course, he can create a different reality and alter all those kinds of things. But if for some reason, magic is almost taken out of the equation, I still feel like he can win in a fight.
I mean, I guess there's always a possibility there too. Sorry to interrupt. I mean,
please.
That he can transport other people.
Yeah.
Or can he? So maybe by bringing him back to say his reality, his home, he'll have a slight advantage, because there's a reason why they always say your home field advantage. Even if the other person is vastly more powerful than you, the terrain, the area. I mean, there's a reason why armies, like in the Civil War here, in the American Civil War, the South was able to last as long as they did. They had familiar terrain, and they were fighting with interior lines of support and transportation. They could move people from one side to the other and not have to go around or through like the Union did.
Yeah.
So if he can bring Apocalypse to his hell, he might be able to disorient him enough, or
I think
first
he's
you got to
even
get him there.
undefeated down there, right? Never lost.
Some sort of magic
got
portal.
down? And that's it. I think if somehow Apocalypse agrees to get down there, which would be definitely difficult, but something doable, that Mephisto could convince him through other means around, other different powers, other different beings that are close to him. Because you were saying Apocalypse doesn't have weaknesses, but the only weakness I could even find on him was his love for his children, which backfired on him anyways later on, which was like the only time I think he got stabbed in the back or killed by his own son. So why not have Mephisto use them to his advantage to get him down there, and then it's just over.
But is it Apocalypse's fight until? Because, like I said, if his children are taken, he has this belief in the survival of the fittest. If somebody is challenging his children, then he wouldn't want to stand in the way of that.
Well, you can manipulate or Mephisto can manipulate memories and thoughts. So he can manipulate Apocalypse to care about something that he didn't care about before, and do things that he wouldn't ordinarily do, especially if he's getting closer to the realm.
Interesting. Now, this is another one of those. These are two incredibly powerful people. Mephisto, doesn't get in very many fistfights. He is the willing and dealing type, but there's also a reason why Lex Luthor is Superman's arch enemy. You don't have to be all powerful to be all threatening. You just have to have the brains, and Mephisto definitely has the brains.
So does Apocalypse.
True. He's considered a genius too.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of two guys around a chessboard trying to figure out to outpawn the other. So.
Well. And it's the luck of the draw basically on who gets to take first hit. And if it's the thing is if it's Mephisto that takes the first hit, well then he's got the advantage. If it's Apocalypse that takes the first hit, he's got the advantage.
True. This very fight might come down to the fact, since it's not two big brawny guys going at it, it's two genius people, one brawn and power with the brain, and the other guy brain and sneaky, kind of like Loki. But
you would bring Loki up right now.
I just had a thought that it's just a similarity. Sorry about that, Mrs. Joker. But this may come down to whoever can see the other person as a threat first and act first, because sometimes it's the reason why the first attack to win. You're not gonna. That's I'm a history buff, so again, it's the whole Japanese of World War II. Attack Pearl Harbor, try and sink our Pacific Fleet, because if we were gonna fight back, you need to hurt us and weaken us and cripple us. So you need to strike first, strike hard, and no mercy.
And who usually survives? The person that strikes first. Now, there's been exceptions in that history. I mean, World War II is an absolutely wonderful example of the exception. But strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Yes, Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai never die.
Yes.
Love that show, by the way.
Oh,
and no, it's the person that survives the quickest usually is the person that can strike first, strike hard, put their opponent off their game right from the beginning. And if Apocalypse's number one goal is to further survival of the fittest, he's going to be the one that makes that first punch.
True. He hasn't evolved and survived all these years for nothing, and just like Mephisto, willing and dealing, the whole last story arc Mephisto and Amazing Spider-Man, we find out that he wanted Peter and MJ's marriage because his offspring was going to be which looked a lot like Mayday, was going to be the threat, or what did him in. And so he was removing a threat because he was somehow clairvoyancy, psychic, to the future, and saw what was going to happen. So he took out the threat before it happened.
Which is a lot of stuff that happens with Apocalypse involving Nate Summers and Cable and all that. So What does Mrs. Comics 89 think? Who does she pick? Does she
Uh,
pick Apocalypse to win or Mephisto?
You've been asked by Carrie here who you favor, Mephisto or Apocalypse to win. You asked someone who's not into sports to pick their favorite football team.
The refs.
He's Mephisto.
Yes, he's Mephisto and she's Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
She said Apocalypse.
Hey!
Good pick. But,
It's the Addams Family T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I've already been to that.
I mean, I did have one question though for both of y'all. Is do you think highly of Thor? Do you
Does
think
she-
highly of Thor?
Yes, we think highly of Thor. Her dog's named after him.
Okay. And you, Carrie, what do you think? Thor's a pretty powerful guy, pretty powerful in this universe, hard to defeat.
Hard to defeat, yes, but not impossible to defeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in my example, I remember Thor defeating Apocalypse. Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Apocalypse went after Thor, but
Yes, and beat him in the first round.
the reason why he ended up losing that was Odin.
Yes.
Odin went after that and saved his little boy. Yeah.
I thought it was my boy Loki that helped him in that. Like he went to Odin, and it was actually Loki that ended up helping him.
Was Loki involved? I thought it was just Odin.
Loki's a big help. Are we sure Loki's a big help? I mean, after all, I remember this happened.
Again, no hand-to-hand combat. However, Mephisto has arguably the same strength as the Hulk. He has limitless power and can augment to be able to be as strong as the Hulk and be able to lift over 100 tons. That is a possibility.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Apocalypse can do all that plus then.
Well, infinity plus
Apocalypse.
infinity.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is when the man can literally be like, oh, this is my left hand. How about I actually want a laser gun? Oh,
Sure.
look, there's a laser gun. I've got that now. Oh, Mephisto is now 50 feet tall. I'm going to be 100 feet tall.
How do you shoot Mephisto when he's invisible or intangible?
Red paint. Who knows?
Oh, it's very cartoony. But yeah, just I move around. Mephisto move around, move like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Just get that speed. I don't know if Apocalypse can catch anyways if he sees him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that with the ability to manipulate your mass and overall being and appearance,
Yeah.
it's Mephisto does something, and Apocalypse then gets to react and change. I think the idea that Mephisto going invisible might be a little bit of an issue.
Mhm.
However, like a lot of stuff, when you have the ability of imagination to just alter what's going on in your favor, that's what Apocalypse has.
Yeah, and Mephisto does, and he also has the ability to pause this and break the fourth wall and tell everybody to vote for Mephisto. Okay,
Yes.
while this battle is happening, and then he can go and continue fighting.
Yeah, speaking of voting for Mephisto or Apocalypse, voting link is active for another 32 minutes until it officially ends. Whether or not we end the match early or not, the voting will close after that point, and no more voting. So vote
Get
now.
those votes in
vote now while we're still
for
going on.
Apocalypse.
Go Apocalypse!
Woo!
Oh, you girls are just sticking together.
Yeah,
Hey,
if you vote for Mephisto, you're voting for my puppy too. So I'm
It was-
using
Oh,
that.
that is such a cute puppy.
What's your dog's name again?
Her name is Lainey. She's named after Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld, my favorite show.
Oh.
growing
Lainey.
up.
Okay.
Lady.
Yeah, it was a cute puppy. Yeah, my puppy May got she was in the losing side of a fight with our other dog. So
Ugh,
yeah,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah. Well, it's
that's
just
sad.
one
Sorry.
dog had a bad attitude, and she just got bit the hell out of it. My wife got injured in the process trying to break
Oh,
him up.
so your wife's a badass that jumps in the middle of a dog fight.
Yeah, she's a badass chick
Mhm.
who rides motorcycles and tells me what to do.
Hell yeah.
Woo.
Apparently, and she says I need it. So
Sometimes we just need a little guidance in life, and Yeah.
Go sit
she
down,
voted.
Rex.
She's for Apocalypse, so I'm on her side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sh-
I sort of finished the breadsticks, except I just kind of licked off the top because it was too hard to chew.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, she's yep. But like I said, she tries to show interest a little bit in our field with comic books, but she does it to humor me and all that. So she has her
Fun out of it too.
she gets her fun out of it too. She likes Captain Marvel the original, the man. In
Sure.
fact,
Okay.
she almost has a complete collection of that first volume
Ooh.
and all that.
Nice.
So I've been helping her piece it together and all that. And she's a couple of times when money's tight, I refuse to let her sell it because she's worked hard trying to
Oh
trying to collect
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no,
So,
like there's some things you just gotta hold on to no matter what. Like the building's burn and you grab it as you run out, that kind of thing.
Other than my puppy, it's that shield I'm holding in that picture right there. So
yeah,
Well, that's an impressive item there.
yeah, I
Like
like that shield a lot.
thank you.
I definitely liked, when I saw that. It was just very, very cool. So,
I
but
I
yeah,
I have like a few comic short boxes that we run out the door with. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I just have the whole
yeah,
thing for
but yeah,
sure.
yeah. Before when we had the one fire here in my town last year, I was in their pre-evacuation or
Yeah.
evacuation, and then I grabbed my entire all my slabbed comics after we had packed the essentials. I'm not dumb in that regard. And then I
Mhm.
grabbed my entire ASM collection and left the rest because
Mhm.
I had a complete Amazing Spider-Man collection. I wasn't gonna let that burn.
No.
right? No.
Manny, the Hobgoblin collector, he has some cool shorts he does on YouTube here. Says, I wonder what I think, man, a Mephisto puppeteering Spidey universe after Norman Osborn sold his soul and Harry's to Mephisto. Okay, so he's asking me a question. Also, I was so on that. I mean, I didn't really care. I mean, at this point, Mephisto has had Doc Ock deal with the Doc Ock, give Doc Ock his original body back. Norman
Hmm.
Osborn here. I mean, I don't totally agree that it takes away Norman's total that he did it himself. I mean, I understand the whole so obsessed with a goal that you are doing anything it takes, and so in the soul to soul. But
Hmm.
I don't buy and don't agree with the whole selling Harry's soul. But if you take it away, whether you take it away or leave it, it's like, eh. In the end, to me, I'm like, there was a much bigger fish to fry, and it just wasn't big enough.
It's weird the concept of somebody selling somebody else's soul. Like it doesn't belong to you to sell. So how that would be a weird kind of concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very interesting. But Mephisto with his soul deals, I mean, there you go. Mephisto talks to Doc Ock, like I said, he talks to Green Goblin, he talks to all these other characters, and then says, like, you guys know you're going to hell when you die, right? I will not let that happen. I will not let you come down here, but you work for me and you take out Apocalypse. He can make those deals.
Who's trying to take out Apocalypse though?
I'm just listing a few characters of Spider-Man, whether it's Green Goblin and Doc Ock, or whether it's Venom, Galactus, or somebody with power to put Apocalypse in his place. He can make that deal, in a sense. You want more power or you want this that you can't have.
You don't. You've done a lot of shit. Like now
Yeah,
you
yeah, here's your get out of
commit to
free
me
jail.
and you don't get to go to hell.
Yeah,
Like
do me one favor, and we're in the clear. You don't owe me a $10,000 anymore. You just
Hmm.
But I made Norman seem like a tragic figure, and I'm not a fan. Yeah, it just made Norman the whole deal with Norman just made him seem like he wasn't totally in charge of how his own fall. But
It just seems like it's one of those things where it's like even if he did that, like he would it wouldn't be a fight then against Mephisto. One, because it's not, maybe, I don't know. I would think that it wouldn't be a fight against Mephisto at that point. It'd be a fight against whoever you would put up. It would be a fight against Norman Osborn or whoever, Galactus, anything like that. And at this point, it's.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's one of the ideas that, like, in particular, like my one of my arguments for the Joker was that you would have the Joker's gain as well. So, and anyone that was ever involved with that fighting for him. So there would be other people involved. So, okay, let's bite on this for a second. So say Mephisto does something like that. Manipulates somebody emotionally or whatever to go do his bidding for him. Okay. So this, being comes up and is like, say it's, well, I mean, basically anyone, right? Apocalypse is going to, depending on, any number of factors of what he sees coming at him, he can manipulate his body. He can manipulate machinery. He's basically a technomancer, right? So he can manipulate machinery around him. He can change his physical form. He can change his all that thing. Oh, he also has the power of telepathy and telekinesis and all these things. So the minute Mephisto's, sitting back at home, kicking back with some beers, to watch everything go down, Apocalypse is trying to enter these guys' brains as well.
Yeah, and Apocalypse does have his 4 horsemen and things like that, so he's not without his own minions as well. So Mephisto, I guess, countering my own argument, like I like to do at times here, because I'm arguing both your guys' sides, that Mephisto almost has to get allies to even begin to even the match. So it's another fun scenario.
He would have to find allies that under most circumstances would have to get them to believe that he believes they're his equal.
He has a lot of souls, though, that he's taken over, kind of like how you said Joker has his little minions, but Mephisto has, I don't know, millions of different. It's not just like, hey, 100 different gremlins over here working in Gotham. It's all over the place.
Right.
So, he can conjure that at pretty much any time. So he's not fighting alone at any point. He has a lot to go for him.
He also has his clan available to him, not just the horsemen. Like the Apocalypse has the clan Akaba, I think is what it's called. He has that much charisma. He also got people to start a cult in his name. So
does he have to, I don't know, I honestly don't know, remember, does Apocalypse still have to change his body out every 100 years or so and like kind of migrate into somebody else's at this point, or is that gone? Because
I don't think that that's a factor really anymore. I know that they did that for the story with Nate Summers, like little Nate Summers, he was trying to take over his body. I know that they were trying to do that with the storyline, but I don't know if that's necessarily I don't think that's necessarily an issue anymore.
Yeah, because in the comic
book,
book,
it was a part of his experience. It was a part of his storyline, so that is an argument.
Yeah, because I mean, my experience with him in the comic books is he always seemed the same age, nothing seemed the problem. He always seemed the same. In the movie,
it got to a certain point where he stopped aging, and he just kind of stayed the same age. In
the movies, it made sense that he is eternal because he kept on drifting from body to body as it aged out, and that's also how he gained so much power. Is that he took over, like I say, he took over the body and took over the
their
gifts.
powers.
So
because you can. The thing is what's really interesting is that he any storyline where he would have to fuse with another body, he has to pick another mutant. He cannot pick a human, because here's one other thing about Apocalypse. His blood is something that can be used to heal other mutants. You give it to humans and it kills them.
Yeah.
Well, one thing Mephisto can do that I don't know if Apocalypse can do is he can manipulate space and time and go back and just baby Apocalypse and just a little bit, but
Yeah, you
he
can
can
do that.
definitely alter a lot of the things that he grew up in going through his experience when he was in the body that he had to, recycle every 100 years or so. So he can
Right.
choose a different time to battle Apocalypse where he is not at his strongest and not at his most powerful. Definitely not taking more power from other mutants at that point, where Mephisto is the same strength at any point in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other arguments that are fresh that we haven't thought of, or are we just having fun talking the general discussion here? Whether we want to start wrapping things up or not.
I mean, I'm good on I think I made my points.
Yeah.
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 I'm ready for
Awesome.
closing statements.
Awesome. Here's Rob Worse, who you guys heard with the opening statement here, opening intro that I created, or was creating in all that regard, until I had to up the ante a little bit and send it out, not fully finished. But Rob Worse here is the Not Near Mint is the voice of the Knockout. He says Mephisto plays the long game. He can just wait out Apocalypse as he claims the souls that name sends his way. So, I mean, yeah, Mephisto. I mean, these were two immortal beings, but if Mephisto gains power through souls and Apocalypse is capped in power per se, it is just a matter of waiting Apocalypse out before he gains more power than Apocalypse has.
Well, it's an interesting concept what Rob is saying there, because basically what he's saying is Mephisto just has to sit back, kind of like what I was saying earlier, sit back, kick open a Dr. Pepper, drink a cup of coffee, whatever, and he keeps on gaining followers in hell because of Apocalypse's stuff that he does. So yeah, it really, he just has to kick back and wait for Apocalypse to bring him more souls.
Mm-hmm. Well, I look forward to that, Rob. If I can get the right clips perfect, absolutely perfect, and then the single tone versus patching it together would work there. So I appreciate you stopping by, Rob. It's always good to have you in the chat and in the show whenever you are here. But all right, since no one has any, I keep wondering what the hell that is. As I was saying, since we've had nothing new to really add, we're going to go to closing statements. And that leaves, I believe, Carrie to begin her closing statement for Apocalypse. So take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, guys. So we have a very even match here. And as my counterpart and I have displayed for you, it really just comes down to schematics. Who's punching first? Who's making the first move and how? What are they doing? How is one character manipulating the weaknesses of another character? So, what you guys have to decide is whose weaknesses lose out the easiest? Apocalypse or Mephisto? Apocalypse can alter his shape, mass, everything. Like, he wants a pistol in his hand, he's got one. He wants to turn his entire body 100 feet high, he can do that. He wants to alter his appearance to trick anyone, he can do that. He has lived thousands of years. He is now immortal. He has literally stopped aging. He is basically Papa Daddy Mutant, okay? He's Papa Daddy Mutant. So tonight, vote Papa Daddy Mutant Apocalypse. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you never don't count a big mutant down. That's what you can sure as hell say. All right, David, what does Mephisto's twisted, sneaky dealing words have to say for his closing argument?
So Mephisto comes from arguably the greatest evil of all time in terms of what humankind has grown up with. So, hell, Satan, all that kind of stuff. So he is the original. He's the OG. Okay. Nobody beats Mephisto. The only people that can actually beat Mephisto, if we're going to be talking about weaknesses, are those that have good souls. And here we are in the knockout battling villains. So we don't have Iron Man and we don't have Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer and anything like that that can, overcome with goodness and take him out. So his only weakness is now completely off the table. He's also immortal. He also can grow into a giant and tiny figure, but also, like I said, intangible, invisible, strength of the Hulk, limitless stamina. He's can manipulate matter. He's durable and virtually invulnerable to injury. So, and he can basically recover faster than Wolverine. If he's in his realm, he's unbeatable. If he's not in his realm, he's going to be a little weaker, but he's just going to teleport there and come right back. And you can just bing bong, and you're fine. His health is never going to be going away. So although Carrie did put up a wonderful fight, and I do give her that, Apocalypse was stronger in this battle than I expected. I just don't see who is beating Mephisto. So vote for Mephisto. Also, he beat Thor. Apocalypse did not.
Very true. Very true. All right. So everyone who is currently in the chat who hasn't voted yet, here is the link one more time. I will give you guys a few minutes or another minute or so to vote, and then we will see who wins. So, and then we have 50 minutes till the voting poll closes, so it shouldn't change. But after this, but who knows? If it changes suddenly, I'll have to do a counteracting little clip here at the end, pop in and say, "Oh, it changed, voting closed." So that's why I had to create an ending this season, so that way I could actually for sure say this person won, because otherwise you never know what's gonna happen.
Unless
so
it's
thank
a
you guys. Yeah, but thank you guys very much for joining. This has been a lot of fun. Carrie, I had a lot of fun having you here again, and who knows, you might have redeemed yourself and helped Apocalypse go to the next round, where whoever wins this round will be facing against, I don't have my computer thing up here. Whoever wins this matchup will be facing Dr. Doom. So that will be a fun and exciting matchup. So, yep, that's how it is. The winner will face Dr. Doom.
I know I'm going to be playing with his mom, so.
Oh yeah. Oh no. That's John. That's
Victor.
John, yes.
Victor, stay here. Your mom's in the bedroom waiting for me.
Cynthia.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gave you guys enough of the time to get votes in. Here we go. The winner of the Knockout episode 4 is Apocalypse with 8 votes, Mephisto with 5. It was a close race, but Apocalypse pulled it off in the end. So congratulations, Carrie.
Nice, Carrie.
Yes, congratulations, Carrie. You did a hell of a job with 3 minutes prep, basically. David,
that was awesome.
David, you did an awesome job. You're more than welcome to have you back on season 5 with a character you know a lot about, so we can really go at it.
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
Anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Anti-heroes.
Oh, I forgot to make this announcement at the beginning of the show. I am thinking about having a co-host for season 5, because what I'm thinking of doing is almost having me versus my co-host, where we pick which characters we want that have been chosen as our guys, and basically gamble it's basically gambling on who's going to have the last man standing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still use the wheel, so in a way it's almost like if you have your guy against your guy, you lost a guy going forward. It's but it's a way of going, like it's kind of like a men versus women competition, but it's a way to bring teams into the knockout season 5, but do it with a co-host. So if anyone out there is interested in being my co-host, send me a message on Instagram, and I will reach out to you. We'll do a little communication here, and if I think there's a good connection relationship here, I will have you on, and we can make a fun competition between the two of us on
You know who
going.
you should get to co-host with you, like a woman that has like a ton of knowledge, is Lady Fantastic. You should get
True.
her in here to do that. She would be good to go up against.
Yeah, she'd definitely bring the trash talk. She is.
Mhm.
Every time I have her on, she's pretty good trash talk. And it'd also be a way of doing a men versus women competition, basically. And instead of having it
Mhm.
all men on one side and all women on one side, it's man versus woman on the other side, and then who wins the final matchup. But
Mhm.
that would be very cool. That way, I'm like, I just had the idea. It'd be really cool to say, I want Doctor Doom. It's kind of like a game of dodgeball. I picked Doom. I picked Loki. I picked Joker. I picked, and see, so you're evaluating who's the best person and who's the best people and building you the best team you possibly can.
Mhm.
Anyway, I think it's a lot of fun to do that. When I did do that. So if anyone out there is interested, let me know.
It's superhero dodgeball.
Yeah, superhero dodgeball, and I was legendary. I'm just saying. I dodged plenty of wrenches and plenty of cars. So, all right. So thank you guys for joining me. Congratulations again, Carrie. Your mom's comics will be taking over Apocalypse next round, so I appreciate you filling in for her or him. I think it's her. Like I said, I haven't met them in person yet, but
Yay, congratulations, your mom's comics.
yeah. So congratulations, your mom's comics. You survived the second round that you didn't have to win. So you got one win under your belt. You didn't have to show up. So, and
Woo!
David, you're more than welcome to be back on season 5 if you're willing to be there. And I will see you guys next time on episode 5 of the Knockout, where we will be going up against Kingpin versus Ultron.
Nice.
So I like this matchup here. You got the Kingpin of Crime versus Skynet. So
Wonder
we'll
who
see.
wins.
Basically.
Yeah, we'll see if a guy with a gangster army can overcome a computer system.
Well,
So it'll be fun. You never know what's gonna happen.
I feel there will be a lot of like bombs and stuff involved. So
Yes.
as long as Vanessa is safe, then we'll be okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ultron doesn't come out dressed as a Vanessa android going, Kingpin, I love you.
It's kind of like when Bugs Bunny would always dress as a girl bunny to
Yeah.
elude any of his foes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So take care, everyone. See you guys next time on the Knockout. Have a good night and see you
Bye.
later.
Thank